Welcome to the Emme Factor Live, a space where art of movement meets wisdom of the heart. My name is Emme, and I welcome you to another episode of live teachings at 12 o'clock in uncertain times. So I think today is our 27th or 28th day. So I'm really proud at the last month that we have been meeting here at 12 o'clock. Welcome everybody. Hello, Petra and Vicky is there, and Sunniva, welcome. I am happy to have you. And we will dive immediately into our next core session. So I called it Get to Know Your Core Part 2. The reason why is because the core is very, very complex. And if you have not watched the part 1 yesterday, I strongly suggest, if you have time, please do it, because I'm laying a little bit a foundation of understanding that core is not just the abdominals, but basically our whole torso and how this network works together. So if you have time, please go back. It's still on replay in the YouTube channel from yesterday. And today, what I would like to do is I would like to repeat some of the exercises of core engagement. Remember, we did this in standing position while we were able to breathe. Today, I would like to do this in seated position, and then we'll go to our crunches, right? We learned yesterday how to contract and activate our abdominal wall, this whole network of 6 wonderful muscles, to actually close this space together. And then I would like to go into the opposite position where we are horizontal on all fours and in plank, and see how this same principle works to stabilize and as a result create an exercise that is very, very valuable and effective if you do it right. Yeah? All right, so please come into a seat. You can come into cross-legged, but remember, in my classes, you do not have to sit cross-legged. I always want you to have the freedom to sit in hero's position or even a chair. Yeah? If cross-legged is not a place where your knees and hips are real happy and you can sit upright without a lot of effort, don't do it. Don't do it in the beginning. Practice it as a seat that will get better by you training it. But don't do the breathing and the focus and the meditative work in that seat, because the pain and the feedback that you receive and the tension that is there counteracts completely what we're trying to do in that moment. Yeah? So wherever you are, cross-legged, if it might be not for you right now, don't despair. It took me years and years and years to sit comfortable in cross-legged, and that's absolutely okay, yeah, because some of us are just not formed in a way where this is easy from the beginning, yeah, so we might have to work our way a little bit into this. All right, take a deep breath in, close your eyes, sit up tall and long. I would like to start with gratitude. Each and every one of our classes, we start with gratitude. We are grateful for this practice. We are grateful for this time that we spend for us. This is the time that is a time that we take out of the busyness of our life for us. This is a time to learn and grow, to receive. I want you to let go of all the things that you are expecting, what should come or what should not come right now and here. See if you can start with a blank canvas. See if you can open your mind and your heart and your body in a way where you can receive teaching, where it's not that you're immediately triggered. And I know this is difficult because we are so conditioned to like and dislike and to immediately evaluate within a split second, is this good or bad, right or wrong? But in my classes, I always ask my student to start with a different attitude and mindset. So arrive today and here with an open heart to receive what's coming, to be focused so that you can not only hear, but you can take in, you can really listen to what will come out as a teaching in this class today. I want you to stay connected inwardly to your body, to really be aware of what's going on, and to learn. I am here with you to teach you, to learn something that is not just me giving you something and you being able to do it. It is it's almost like a little snowball that we're getting into rolling. And it creates a training. And a training is something that constantly grows and is repeated and gets feedback, and then it grows again, and then it's repeated, and then we get more feedback. This is the intention of all the classes that I teach. So let's bring our palms together to the center of our heart and take 5 soft yet deep breaths in. 2. 3. 4. 5. Beautiful. Open your eyes. We place our thumbs onto our rib cage, right there where it opens up. And the longest finger, which for most of us is going to be the middle finger, we're placing it onto our hips. And I want you to inhale and exhale, and very slightly see if your exhalation can bring this space a little bit closer together without us rounding. So I want us to breathe, exhale, and activate our core without rounding. So we inhale, sit tall and long, and exhale, draw the lower part of the navel, the pelvic triangle, we talked about that yesterday. Draw it inward, upward to the navel, and keep the rib cage just upright, but a tiny little bit engaged. And again, keep breathing. Inhale into the belly. Exhale and draw the navel in. There is this movement of expansion with our inhale. And with our exhale, we draw the lower part up and the inner part in. So it looks like this. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now keep going. I want you to see if your exhalation can actually activate the core a tiny little bit more, this abdominal core. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you can see this in the lines of my shirt. Exhale. There are more lines when I'm exhaling, and I'm actually creating a brace. It's almost as if I'm bracing my whole abdominal cavity, this whole part, even the back, the kidney area and the lower back is braced. Yes. And now see if you can do this without your arms there. And exhale. And exhale out a little bit more than you think you can exhale out. And use your abdominal muscles to further this exhalation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Make sure that you're not rounding. So we're not rounding, yeah? We're staying upright. You will need this in a moment. This contraction without rounding. That's what we're working on right now. Inhale. and exhale. One more time. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Wonderful. Very good. Okay, remember that, yeah? So let's take a chair. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. So we do need a chair. I apologize. I hope you saw it and I hope you were smart enough to get a chair. So what I would like to do is actually have our heels on our chair. Yeah? So yesterday we did this movement with our feet on the ground like this. And let's actually start just one more time to repeat what we did yesterday. I would like for us to tilt our hip back and forth. And in this tilting movement, we are actually flattening the lower back into the ground and maybe even lifting up the sit bones and the tailbone a little bit off the ground. And then we're arching into a beautiful, nice little arch. So this is our pelvic tilt. Now, can you use your exhalation to bring the rib cage and the hip bones together and down while you tilt the pelvis back? So what I want from you is this rib cage here, left and right. I want us to press it down and contract our core. And as a result, our lower back is going to flatten into the ground. Yeah, that's what we're trying right now, forth and back. So all of this is not so easy. So you might not be able to immediately imitate and copy this movement. But what I want you to do is think, rib cage down, pelvic bones here in the front up, belly button in. As much as we can, draw the belly button in. Yes. And then yesterday what we did is we came into this position and we slowly lifted up our rib cage. So what I want us to do is lift the head and parts of our shoulder blades. If your core is already pretty strong, you should be able to lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Yeah, that's where we're going. It might not be possible today, but here's what I don't want you to do. What most of us do is when we engage our abdominals, we poof the belly out. And we can all do this just for fun. Just lift yourself up and you can see how actually my whole belly is lifting up. I call this poofing out the belly. I don't know a better word for it. It kind of like builds up here. I don't want that. I want us to try, and this is difficult, but we'll try to not poof the belly up when we come up, but to actually draw the navel in. Do you see the difference? In, up, and in. So I want you to really try this, yeah? This is not something that you might be able to do right now, but from now on, every time you do this crunch, it's not just us poofing the belly out and bringing if I'm bringing the belly out, the rib cage and the hip bones actually don't really shorten and come together. So what I need is this movement inward. That's what I want. And then the rib cage can actually go down. And you can do this in a seated position. You bring the rib cage down and in and pull the navel in. That's what we want on the ground. And of course on the ground it's much harder because we're not vertical anymore. You are horizontal. And as soon as you are horizontal, gravity is pulling on you completely different. That's why it's so much more difficult to do this on the ground than here in seated position. However, for you to learn this, to be able to do this in your body, it's actually good to sit up and then bring the rib cage down. Try to bring the hip bones up and pull the navel in as tight as we can. And look what happens with my back. It actually flattens. And that's exactly what happens here. Yeah? Okay, so let's do this one more time. And again, like I highlighted yesterday. So, rib cage, hip bones down. We're slowly rolling up. Now I want us to roll up
not with the head and shoulders. Yeah, we did this yesterday. Please go back and watch this. This is not head and shoulders. This will only create tension in your neck. I want us to keep the head and shoulders back and only roll from your core. And you see, if I do this, I can barely talk then if I do it right, because my abdominals are working 100% and I'm breathing, and then talking is really difficult, yeah? So let's try and see if I can lift myself up by bringing this rib cage down to my hip bones. Good. So this is my core. And you will, some of you will shiver, yeah? Shiver a little bit. Good. You want to shiver. That's a sign that you're accessing those muscles that usually don't work. Okay? And slowly release back down. Deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Rib cage down. Belly button in. Hold this position. Inhale. And roll up just not high. It's not about how high we're rolling up. It's about not poofing out the belly. And I know some of you might feel like, how in the heaven's name shall I do this? It just comes out. It's okay if it comes out a little bit. You just focus mentally on drawing the navel in, even if it creates a dome. It doesn't matter, because the inner muscles, yeah, abdominis transversus, this is a part of this group of muscles, pulls in. Even if you don't see it on the outside, you can feel this. Yeah, don't despair. This is going to get easier the more we do it. And release. And just holding, you can feel how, wow, this is a lot of core work. Let's do it again. Wonderful. Good. Keep breathing. Every time I exhale, can we contract a bit more? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly release. These are your abdominal muscles in a crunch. Okay, let's get our chair. And I want us to bring our heels in a 90-degree angle onto the chair. Yeah? So now, we're doing the same thing. We are posteriorly tilting our hips. We are bringing the rib cage down, and we're lifting ourselves up. Good. So here in this 90-degree angle, you can really feel how your lower back pushes into the ground. Good. And now I want us to go up and down, just as much. Just maybe 2-3 centimeters, maybe an inch or two, up and down. You see my shoulder blades are not on the ground anymore. That's where I'm going. Good. Keep going. Exhale. Notice if your belly is poofing out and if you're almost arching the back a little bit. I want this to pull in. Yes. Very good. And hold this position. All right. Now from here, lift up the right leg and just hold. Keep breathing. And lift up the left heel just a couple of inches. And lower back down. And right heel. Deep breath. And left heel. And last time, one more. Lift yourself up, squeeze a tiny bit more. Lift up the right leg. Good, I'm not moving a lot in this 90-degree angle. I'm just lifting up. And lift up. And slowly release back down. This should have made the core totally warm. Yeah? You should have felt it. If you did this right, you will feel this a little bit in this upper part as well as in this pelvic triangle. Yeah? What we want, one more time, is for this whole part to squeeze together. The reason why we're not poofing out is because we're not using all muscles. Yeah? If you're poofing out, it's merely the rectus abdominis, which is like right up here in the front, but it doesn't involve the obliques and the transverse muscles, and that's what we really want to get a good core engagement. Yeah? All right, one more time. This time, we will be lifting up both legs. So here we are, heels onto the chair. We are tilting our hip backwards. We are bringing the rib cage and the hip bones together. Slowly, I'm rolling myself up because my rib cage goes down. I am rolling myself up. And then I would like for us to lift up both legs. And the moment you do this, the moment you lift up, you will immediately feel how your core wants to fall down. The tailbone and the sacrum want to fall down. Don't let it. Lift the hip, the sacrum up, lift your legs up and hold it. So this is full contraction. Upper and lower part. And yes, I'm shivering too. I can barely talk. So I'm going to stop for a moment. And slowly release your heels and release back down. Could you feel that? Yeah? Could you feel how the lower part and the upper part brought each other closer together? And that way you get full contraction, full crunch in your abdominals. Yeah? That's what we want. So let's do it one more time. Focus on pulling the navel in. Focus on rib cage and hip bones together, in and down. And as a result, we'll be able to hold. And we'll try to breathe in it, because remember, our goal is not to stop the breath. Then we don't have oxygen. When the oxygen stops, our whole training is useless. Yeah, we have to breathe. So we have to be able to breathe in this position. Yeah, so one more time. Heels onto the chair, only the heels. I want you to tilt your pelvis back. Yeah, is this clear for everyone? What that means? Tilting my pelvis backward. Yes, and as a result of that, can you feel how your tailbone and your sacrum lifts up a little bit? That's exactly what we want, yeah? Now this is easy when the heels are on the chair. This is a lot harder when it's off in the air, and that's what we're working on, yeah? So tilt your pelvis, rib cage down, bring that rib cage down. I already feel it engaging. And then I'm lifting up I'm rolling up and pulling my navel in as good as I can. Don't worry where it is today. Now see if you can do this movement solely. You see, I'm not doing this with my shoulders and my head at all. It's solely in my core. All right, right leg lifts up and left leg too, and keep your tailbone curled up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Squeeze some more. Come, squeeze some more. You can do this. 7, 8, 9, 10, and slowly release back down. Yeah? This was set 1 of 1 million. Yeah? This was set 1 of 1 million. That's what we do. And then we'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay? All right. So let's bring the chair to the side. And we are turning over onto all fours, please. So, now, let's come onto all fours. Slowly shift your body weight a little bit forth and back in a little bit circular motion. Remember, if your wrists have difficulties holding you in this position, remember to create a little lift so that we can bring the balls of our hand onto our mat and lean forward. So this is a good alternative for everyone. Or if you like, you can certainly go onto your elbows as well. We're going to do this in a moment. But for right now, I would love for us to stay in this position. So now, the hips are on top of our knees. So we have a straight line, maybe the feet about hips width apart, feet and knees. And one long line. Our shoulders are on top of our hands. So make sure you're not here or here, yeah? We are in a 90-degree angle, okay? So from here, I want us to just let ourselves sink into our arms and push ourselves up. Sink into the arms and push ourselves up. Do this a few times and feel the difference if you're kind of like hanging in your shoulders here, or if you are pushed up high. This is what I mean when I say push yourself high off the ground. You will hear me say this in plank and in this position. So don't ever hang in your shoulders here, but push yourself up high. And you can feel the integrity in the arms in the shoulder girdle, the shoulder blades are actually pressing up into the back of our rib cage. That's exactly what we want.
And you feel this also a little bit in this lower part here. This is a very important muscle, serratus anterior. So press this up, yeah?
Okay, so now from here, can you give me core engagement? Can you give me a lot of core engagement and create a cat position? So now you know that cat is a full contraction of our core. So let's do this in cat. Good. Cow is the opposite, where we want the rib cage and the hip bones to create space. This is why I am arching in my back here. Okay, so one more time. Contract your rib cage and your hip bones as close as you possibly can, withdrawing the navel in. Do you see how it rounds the back up? And this is contraction. This is not hard because we are on our arms and we're pushing ourselves up here so the core doesn't have to work as much. Now, let's come into a neutral position. Neutral means that we have a back that has a tiny bit of an arch in our lumbar spine. You don't have to be rounded there. So imagine your tailbone lengthens, but the belly is not hanging out. I want the belly to contract. So can you give me that principle that we just did on the floor? Can you give this to me in this position? Well, I'm going to show it with this arm. You can't see it. Okay, so here we go. Belly button inward, rib cage and hip bones together. Good. And can we hold that position? Good. And release. And again, contract. And release. And contract. Good. Do this a few more times. And release. And contract. Inward, rib cage and hip bones together. Hold. And release. And now we'll do this one more time and hold them. Contract and hold. And hold that position. And just hold. Good. There we go. Wonderful. So now from here, keep this contraction in your core. Rib cage and hip bones, belly button in, and we extend the right leg out. Keep it contracted. Good. And lift the leg. We're not arching the back. We are not letting the belly hang under no circumstances. We are in contraction here. We are activating our core and lifting up the leg. So lift up the leg and don't lift up high. It's not about how high, it is about keeping the core engaged. Good. And release the leg, other side. Keep the core engaged still. Active, rib cage and hip bones together, right leg, and lift up and hold. Hold that position. Deep breath. Good. So if I look at your belly, if I would look at your belly, I cannot see this lowering down. It needs to be rib cage and hip bone contracted. Yes. And other leg. Here we go. One more time. Left leg. You can do this on your elbows. Absolutely. Keep this contracted. Feel it with your hands. Good. And switch. Right leg. Engaged core. Lift up the right leg. Rib cage and hip bones together. Keep them there. Good. Now see if you can lengthen the leg out a tiny little more. Expand the leg a tiny bit more and keep the contraction. Good. And slowly release back down. Good. Yeah, shake the arms out a little bit. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. And this time we're going to lift up the opposite arm. Yeah, this is called bird dog. And bird dog is a fabulous core strengthener. It's a coordinative exercise to coordinate arms and legs. It's a balancing exercise, and it's really, really wonderful to learn to engage your abdominal core in all horizontal positions. Yeah, this is so worth it. Looks like nothing much. Many people totally misunderstand this exercise, and I haven't seen a lot of examples that do it right, but I am convinced that you are here because you want to learn this. Yeah, so let's do it. Come onto all fours again. We're pushing ourselves up, 90-degree angle. Immediately, rib cage and hip bones slightly engaged. You know how to do this. We're not contracting so much that we're rounding. We are also not letting the belly just hang. We are having a curve, a slight curve, and the rib cage and the hip bones together. Yes. So it's almost like I'm lifting up my rib cage a bit. Okay. Left leg, here we go. And lift it up. Hips stay completely square. Don't open them up to the side. Totally square. Good. Now from here, one more time. Feel your core. Feel it engaged. Right arm lifts forward. And hold that position. Good. Now notice if your left hip bone, if it still tucks under and pulls forward, upward, while the leg goes up. Good. Keep pulling it inward. Yes. And slowly release. Other side. Deep breath. Right leg. Exhale. Contract. Right leg lifts up. It's not about how high. It is about how much can you engage your core. Left arm lengthens. Now, I know it wants to just kind of like arch back because that's easy. Don't let it. Rib cage in. Yes, that's the core contraction. Good. And slowly release back down. Very good. Child's pose. Rest your arms. Deep breath. Wonderful. Okay. Let's come onto our elbows, please. We're coming onto belly, onto our elbows. So now, what I want us to do is we are contracting the space between ribcage and hip bones, keeping the knees on the floor and contracting and lifting up. So what I am doing is I'm coming into a plank position by fully contracting my core. And as a result, the hips are going to come up. And what I want you to do in this position is really engage your glutes and tilt your hip forward. That's what we want in this position. Yeah? So let's try this out. Come onto your elbows, maybe open the feet a little bit. It should be in a position where your glutes can start to engage. So see if you can tuck your bottom under. Tuck the bottom under. Good. And lift yourself up. Now engage your core. Good. So the rib cage and the hip bones need to come together and pull that navel in. And you will feel quite a bit of core engagement already here. Good. And hold this position. Now, and slowly release. One mistake that is often done is this. Rounding up your upper back and actually only emphasizing the rib cage down movement. So we can't get to a point where we're actually rounded. Remember, when we sit, we don't want to engage to a point where we're rounded. We want to stay here. And that's the difficulty, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Ready? And lift and contract and hold. Good. Now, tailbone, tuck under. Yes. And hold it there. Deep breath. And now see if you can engage some more. And engage some more. Hip bones up to the ribcage. And engage. Very good. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more. One more, we can do it. Good. And slowly release back down and extend your arms. Yeah? All right. We're going to do this again. Yeah? Where is the movement? The movement is here. The reason why it's so difficult for us to get there is because we have never, most of us have never demanded this from our body. We didn't even know. And so if you start to engage this a little bit more with awareness, if you have the body awareness to engage these muscles, then all of your planks, everything is going to change in that moment, yeah? So now that we are horizontal, and you can feel this is a lot harder than being on all fours or being upright, I want you to really hold on to your elbows, push yourself up, bring the rib cage in, don't round yourself too much, and then we'll see if we can extend the legs fully into full plank, yeah? All right, so let me put this up here so you can always see my belly too. All right, so from here, elbows onto the ground. Let's start. Deep breath. Exhale, tilt your tailbone down, under, tuck under, glute is engaged, and push yourself up. Good. Wonderful. Tuck your bottom under. Pubic bone goes forward, upward. And then bring the rib cage in. Come, we can do this. Bring the rib cage in. Okay. Exhale, 1. And 2. 3. And hold the 4. Hold that position. Good. Curl the toes under and lift up into full plank. 1. Good. 2. Don't arch yet, yeah? Tuck under. Good. 3. 4. 5. Bend the knees to the ground. Keep tucking under a little bit more and slowly release to the ground. Yeah, very good. Yeah? So we're going to do this on our hands in just a moment. So all of these are variations, and quite frankly, it is worth it to practice these variations quite a bit, yeah? Because you have to start somewhere and then build up the strength to go further and further. So if you want to stay on your elbows, stay on your elbows. If you want to go with me into full plank, come into full plank with me. So here we go. We're starting on our knees and arms. So I want you to get into contraction of your core and push yourself up. So my rib cage and my hip bones are fully contracted, my belly button is in. Everybody of you should at least be able to try to get there. Yeah, you might not be able to stay as long, but I have a feeling that you should be able to feel this. Okay, deep breath, and then curl the toes under, keep that contraction and lift up your legs. Good. Hold the plank. So do you feel this? Do you feel how my belly is pulling inward, upward? Yours too. And then bend the knees, contract some more and extend. Bend the knees and extend. Good. Push yourself up high. Push yourself up high. Bend the knees and extend. Now hold that position. Good. And lower down. Core contraction, even more, more, and slowly lower down to the ground, yeah? All right. So, this is quite a bit of work. If you do this right, this is more than enough work to strengthen your upper body, your core, your legs, everything. Some of you will feel this in your arms a lot too, because you're not used to holding your body weight on your arms, and that's okay, yeah? Don't worry about this. These are things that we have to build up, and we have to start somewhere. If you are strong enough to hold, really focus on your core, yeah? If you feel a lot in your arms, take a little break and come back in and build up the strength in your shoulders and arms and back at the same time while you're building up core strength, yeah? You saw we did 2 different versions. One version is laying on our back and contracting where we're prone in the supine position on our back. And one position is forward where we are on all fours. And both of these positions in space and time have a completely different challenge or condition how to engage our core. And if you use these 2 examples, these are foundational movements. And if you build up more and better movements, more complicated movements that are even finer, refined, you will have a wonderful foundation to do other things with your core. Remember, because we have rotation and we also have the bends to the side, yeah? This right now is just to get the contraction. And I promise you, if you start now to think about these things, at least bring them into your workouts, yeah? When you do planks, when you do push-ups, are you really engaging this? Or is this always flaring open? Have you ever thought about
how important this is to have an awareness of it. Yeah, that's what I hope I am awakening you to. Last time for today, and then we're done. Okay, so one more time. If you like, do it on your elbows. If you want, do it in full plank with me. We're going to bend the knees, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, and maybe extend the right knee, extend the left knee, and just give it a little bit more of a strengthening exercise there. Yeah? All right, last time for today. Deep breath. We're coming into full plank. To find that plank. Shorten your core. This is where we're looking at. This is the part. Good. All right. And bend the knees. Contract. Good. And extend. And bend. And extend. Try to bring the knees towards the feet. Bend down towards the feet. Don't bring the knees forward. Yeah, we're not coming into all fours. And we're not lifting the tailbone up. And I know this is hard. Yeah, most of you might just hang up here. We need this position. We need the core to contract. We need to learn this. And for some of us, it means that we really have to do it on our knees. And extend. And right knee, extend. Left knee, extend. Good. Keep the contraction, keep it. Now it wants to open, it wants to release because it's hard. Don't let it. 6, 7, and 8. 2 more. 9. Good. Keep it contracted. 10. And bend both knees. And hold for one moment. Contract even more. One more time. One more. Give everything you got. And slowly release. Back down. Ah, good. Yeah? So all of this is easy when you have done the work. Yeah? If you do this right, these are super challenging exercises. If you do it right, nothing of this is easy. This is super hard. I'm totally sweaty right now. But I have trained myself for a long time, and so it looks easy. Yeah, it's like, why doesn't it look easy on me? Why am I having such a problem? Why? Because most likely you probably haven't trained yourself in really using your core. Yeah, and that's what we need to understand. When we see, I think we look too much at other people's bodies, and we look at what they're doing, and very often we think, well, I can't do this, or why can't I do this, and this is so hard for me and it's so easy, so something must be wrong with me. But it's not. Yeah? What it is that we haven't gotten to the point where this is something that your body can actually use, and it is worth it to practice this until you get to a place where you feel like, you know what, it's still burning, but I have a feeling I am actually engaging the right parts in my body. And that's where I want to get you to. Yeah? There is a lag. There's a little bit of a learning curve. There is a awareness curve. If you get that, if you get over that curve, you'll be able to engage this in any movement in your practice, in any fitness training, in any yoga practice, in anything that you do. But don't give up along the way, yeah? This is going to be hard. This is designed to be hard. And I promise you, I have worked with people for almost 30 years now. Most people don't get that, yeah? And it hurts my heart because it's almost like this is where the goodies are. This is where the real change happens in the body. This is where you get so much control in your movement that you can actually heal yourself. You'll be able to create a training for yourself that will keep you safe and keep you strong and coordinated and balanced and flexible and movable in a way so that when we're aging, we feel good in our body. Yeah? And that, I hope, is what you're getting here. Yeah, I'm so passionate about it because I see it changes people's lives when they get that. Yeah, if you are an athlete and you have been wondering, how you can make your training just a little bit better. Start with the fundamentals. Start with these type of things. Make your plank better. Learn to engage your core. Learn what it means to retract and protract our shoulder blades. Learn these things. And I promise you, your training is going to take off, yeah? But it is a willingness to learn, a willingness to just pay attention to it, yeah? And it's so worth it, people. It is so worth it. All right, let's lay down. Last little breath to release. Put your legs on your chair if you have it there, or just lay on your back. Wonderful, wonderful work. Okay. So, open your arms. Let your whole entire back extend. This should really feel good. Let your legs release. You can put them on a couch or anywhere at home. Close your eyes and feel the body. I want you to feel the warmth in your core, even in your back, because I think that a lot of you will have felt the connection between the upper core center and the lower core center, and how the whole entire back and the torso work together to keep us stable and movable in a good way, yeah? Let your breath come into your belly one more time. And remember, today was the first set of 1,000,000. We're going to keep practicing this from now on. And I'm here to guide you and help you and inspire you. I love to see you transform and change. Make photos, make some videos of yourself. Because people, if you look back a year from now onto these first videos that you've made of yourself, you're going to smile and feel really proud of the path that you have taken in learning and growing. And there will be so much progress that will be visible, that alone will motivate us to wake up the next day and keep going again. All right. Let's extend the arms back. Bring the knees into your chest one more time. Roll over the right side. And come into our last position, seated position today. All right, that was it, people. I hope you understood. I hope you come up with some questions. I love it if you watch this and you try this out and you notice things that create questions. That's the best way to grow. So I'm here to help you learn, and it's my joy and pleasure to see you again tomorrow. We're going to keep working on our core for the next 2 days. I'm only here at 12 o'clock, I think 2 more days, Wednesday and Thursday. I hope to see you, and please leave me some comments, what you need to know, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste. Oh, good.